Hello traders and welcome to another video review. Today is Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. Let's take a look at the economic calendar for today. So what do we have here? Japanese data, exports up from 5.1 to 16.8, trade balance up from 113 billion to minus 1.152 billion yen. Adjusted trade balance 0.46 trillion. So very good data from Japanese economy. Reserve Bank of New Zealand interest rate decision has been published overnight, and as widely expected, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand decided to leave the interest rate at the level of 2.25% as expected. Monetary policy statement, rate statement and press conference has been issued as well overnight. CPI data from the UK are worse than expected. 3.4 was the previous number, 3% was the actual number. On the yearly measurement, minus 0.5% is now the current CPI. PPI input in line with expectations, 0.4%. French CPI down to minus 0.3%. And we are still waiting for the German 10-year Bund auction, scheduled for release at 11:30. Then we are waiting for the core durable good orders and building permits data together with the housing starts from the US. All of this data are scheduled for release at 2:30. 3:15, we got the industrial production data from the USA. At 5 o'clock, we got Atlanta Fed GDP now. At 6 o'clock, we got ECB Schnabel will give a speech. 20-year bond auction from the US is scheduled for release at 7 o'clock, and the widely expected FOMC meeting minutes data release are scheduled for release, of course, at 8 o'clock. As usual, TICnet long-term transactions scheduled for release at 10 o'clock, and 10:30 API weekly crude oil stock data release. Plenty of data releases today, and Reserve Bank of New Zealand interest rate decision. So we'll definitely take a look at the New Zealand dollar. But now we start with the technical part, and we are going to start, of course, with the euro dollar first. So the euro dollar 30-minute chart is looking bearish, and the 4-hour chart is looking bearish as well. Look at this situation here. We've been trying to move higher out of this consolidation. Nevertheless, while we break the 100 pips moving average, the 100 pips moving average right now 1.1870, now is starting to doing a mushroom top, starting to reverse to the downside. We got the movement lower towards 1.1806, then we have a bounce towards 1.1858. Now the market is trying to move lower yet again. So the local technical support has been violated, as you can see. Has been violated, and the market, well, there's a piercing pattern here. Nevertheless, with this momentum that cannot even break the level of 50, the outlook remains bearish. Next target is obviously 1.1806, and then the lows from the February 6, 1.1767 is next for the test for the euro dollar. So bearish outlook for the euro dollar. British pound, the same situation. Another rejection from the trend line, another rejection from the 100 pips moving average, now at 1.3666. Movement down towards 1.3494 into the extremely oversold conditions. So we got the pin bar here. Okay, so we got the pin bar. We don't need this Elliott wave right now. We got the pin bar here, movement to the upside. Nevertheless, this level here, 1.3587, will be acting as the technical resistance these days. And if there is a failure here again, the market might move even lower than 1.3494. Next target 1.34. 84, 1.3467 and 1.3412. So bearish outlook for the British pound as well. US dollar versus the Japanese yen doesn't do anything. It keeps trading inside of this narrow range with the momentum moving slightly higher back towards the level of 50. Right now it's even 52 points. Nevertheless, the price doesn't move a bit. So right now we're still waiting for the breakout to the downside, because it looks like the market wants to test this low 152.11, and then eventually if there is a breakout lower, then market will go towards the level of 152, 151, or if there's a breakout above the range technical resistance 154.04, next target is 154.50, 100 periods moving average or higher. New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar. After the interest rate decision, the market doesn't actually looks bullish. Okay, so we got this situation here. Technical resistance 6087 and recent high at 6073. So we got very nice zone here. This is of course the that's supply zone, of course. I've been trying to get another line. And local high and local swing low 5,921 is next for a test. As you can see, we moved away from this little consolidation. There is another interesting intraday level here, located roughly around 5,992, will now act as the technical support for now, but any breakout lower exposes the low from the February 6th, 5,923, up for a test. So this looks like a nice movement to the downside, and as you can see, RSI is 39 points, so it is supporting the bearish outlook. Australian dollar versus the US dollar. Almost the same situation, however, it looks a little bit better ahead of the data. We got the technical resistance at 7,171. All right, and now there is another brief attempt to move above 7,097 pips. It failed, and the local low made overnight and or even yesterday on 17th is 7,031 pips, and now it will act as the technical support. The other interesting level is located here. The major technical support tested at least 2 times 6,904. So right now the outlook is still bullish, despite the fact that the market is at the level of 50 on the RSI, so it's a neutral level. Nevertheless, it's bouncing from the level of 40. So this outlook remains bullish, especially because in the background we still have since the beginning of the 2026 we have a nice uptrend. So the outlook for the Australian dollar remains bullish. Let's take a look at gold. What is gold doing? Not much. We broke definitely below the level of the level of 4,877, local low 4,841. As you can see, with this negative momentum, we are keep developing the wave C to the downside. Slowly but surely we are going lower, so we should see another sell-off lower in wave C. Otherwise the wave B is still has not been completed, and maybe this is still a part of the that situation here is still a part of the wave B. All right, but we don't know it yet. Nevertheless, we keep going slightly lower these days. And last but not least, the Bitcoin. As you can see, the Bitcoin doesn't do much. It tries to move ahead above of the general zone. The general zone is the, of course, supply zone. Let me just mark it for you, or let me just change the color. You obviously are seeing this zone here. So we really desperately want to break above this zone, but we can't still do it. Right, so anything above this zone is slightly bullish. Anything above 74,619 is bullish, and anything above this level is really bullish with nice and strong momentum. So we are consolidating here. Local there was a local low and the technical support located at 65,117. Nevertheless, it still doesn't actually looks like this market wants to go towards this level. Now possibly we are testing the local trend line, and if we do it, if we break above this line here, okay, so that's the line, the outlook is a little bit biased to the upside. 70,206 is 100 periods moving average. Just above it there is a the major supply zone. Any breakout above this zone is bullish. Any failure here is another failure and even bigger pressure on bulls to go lower. Any rejection of the trend line and cap is directly related to another step, and this step is to test 65,170. That's everything from me for today. Thank you very much for watching this analysis, and I hope I see you guys next time. Take care and bye bye.